Okay, the light is positively abysmal, but like we're gonna work with it. Also, what is going on here with my voice? I think this is kind of what we get today. Sorry, I'm just adjusting things. Hi, my little piggies, my little chickadees. I just finished office hours for the membership, which is crazy because I also just finished watching Japan Vlog Day 1, my editor sent back, and that was last Friday. And to think who I was then and who I am now, I've changed so much. Truly though, I mean, what a week. My God, it feels like I've been here for months. And this is like day 3 of like feeling under the weather, but I'm feeling better than I was last night. Did I record the scary ghosty video last night? I don't even remember at this point. It's like you're on this trip with me. I'm like, babe, what did we do? So today was the first full day in Shinjuku. I need my water. This will be another video I do with like water in my hand the entire time. It was the first full day in Shinjuku. So I let myself sleep in, which was like necessary till like 9:30. And like after this, what is it? It was 12:33 a.m. on now May 13th. I woke up, I showered to like feel like a person, and I wanted to go get some work done in a coffee shop. And I figured what a cool way to just like walk around and see Shinjuku a bit. It's also supposed to rain like fully for the next 4 days. So I was like, let's spend as much time outside as possible today. So I get my shit together. I decide to head out. And I will say Shinjuku feels very, very different than Shibuya, where I was previously in Tokyo. And I try to go to this one first coffee shop and I cannot find it like at all. It looks great on Google Maps. Like the images look great, reviews are awesome. I cannot find it. I'm in alleys, I'm going upstairs, I'm going downstairs, but I can't find it. Things here could be very difficult to find because they're like shoved in a corner of an alley. And then you go upstairs and you're like, oh, it's this grandiose coffee shop. I had no idea, but never found it. So I picked another one nearby and it was absolutely lovely. I walked in and it was like the most New York like coffee shop I could have stepped into, and I was like, I did not do this on purpose, I swear. I ordered a very delicious iced vanilla latte. I sat down and I worked for a bit, and at a point people were coming in and out, and this one girl came in and she spoke English but had a heavy accent, so I don't know where she was from exactly, and she knew a little Japanese. So she sat down, she ordered a coffee, and when the woman brought her coffee, the girl then asked like, and you take card, right? And the girl indicated like, no, we don't take card. And the girl got like mortified. They didn't take card, they only took cash, and the girl was so embarrassed because she didn't have any cash, and she was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like sitting there watching this transpire, and I'm like feeling this girl's hurt. And I like grab my wallet and I have 2,000 yen in there, and I grab 1,000 yen, which to me feels like $1, which I know that's not correct, but like that's what it feels like. And I kind of like walked over and I said, is her drink less than 1,000 yen? Because I don't fucking know. I was like, is her drink less than 1,000 yen? And they're like, yes. I was like, just take this. I said to the girl, I was like, please. She was like, no. I was like, please, let me just get it. Let me get it. It made me feel so good. And I'm like not telling this story because I feel like I'm telling you the story and it sounds so like, oh, what a great person I am. It just was like a little opportunity to pay it forward. And I don't know, I felt so happy to be able to do it. I don't know, it just made me feel really good. And then when the girl left, she like got change for the yen and she like put the change on my table. She's like, thank you again so much. I was like, it was nothing. It was nothing. Have a wonderful day. Like, I was just so happy. So that set my day. I was in a good mood. I then left the coffee shop, and Shinjuku has tons of these like little street stands, and they have the like, you can order with like buttons, and then you like take the sheet. It's like you hardly have to speak to anyone. It's kind of great. So I got Korean fried chicken in like a little cup, which was yummy. And then I walked and I was like, I need like one more little thing. So I got McDonald's. I don't know, y'all. I've been to McDonald's several times at this point, but like, it's right there. It's so cheap and it's really good here. I mean, it's really good at home too, but like, it's not even as heavy here, so I don't feel terrible. Then I came back to the hotel, brief respite, small nap, and my plan was, because it's supposed to rain, there's this huge park on the map that I can see. Shinjuku Garden, I'll look up the name, Gyoen, I don't even know how to say it. And I was like, if it's gonna be pouring the next 4 days, I would like to go to this park today. I ready myself, sunscreen, the whole thing, grab my camera and head down there. It's like a 13-minute walk, so easy. There's an entrance fee, which like I had no problem with. I mean, I've paid entrance fees to get into temples and shrines and wherever the fuck at this point. So it's 500 yen, which is like 370. And I go in and I pulled up TikTok to record a video and I was like, controversial question possibly. If you had to pay to get into Central Park, would you go? I'm talking like $2, $3. And what if you paid and you went in and you couldn't even necessarily see where the money was going? Would that bother you even more? But I could see, I mean, this park was immaculate. So I posted that video on TikTok, you can take a look at it. But like, it was like they'd gone around and measured the grass so it was all the same length. Like it was so preposterously beautiful that I was like, yes, I would pay this much. I would pay $5 to get into Central Park. I don't even care. Because if it looked like this, if it was this well kept, fucking someone's got to get paid to do that. Stunning. And so then I kept walking, and they have like a formal garden and they have a Japanese garden, 144 acres, massive. And I went to the formal garden first. Rose bushes, these like trees planted symmetrically, like just like gorgeous. Gorgeous. On a beautiful day too. Like it was truly perfect. So I wandered around, and there's a traditional Japanese garden as well. It just was so special. And the craziest thing, not the craziest thing, but this thing happened. So I'm gonna tell the story here, and I'll also probably post on TikTok about it, but I was about to leave the park, and I'll try and do my best to remember the details, but I recorded a video literally right after this happened, so that one's probably gonna be a little more accurate. I was walking to this like final section of the park called like the Mother and Child Woods or something, and I Mother and Daughter, I would have to look up the name of it. But like I walked into this section, there's a sign, it clearly like demarcates you're going to this section, and I felt like a tingle, like I felt something happen, and I'm like, I can be very like witchy and very sensitive to shifts and whatever, so I was like, oh, this is something, I feel like something is gonna happen, or this is a special place or something. And there was a couple benches within this little beautiful like, you know, when like the trees come together and the light can't come all the way through, so it's like inherently diffused and shadowy, but still like beautiful and warm, and it was like that. And there were benches sort of lining the path, and there was one bench that like called to me, question mark. It had like sun shining on it. I was like, I'm just gonna sit on this bench for a bit and like think about life. I've been a little sad lately in life, and also like moments on the trip. Not that Japan's made me sad, but just my own shit in my head. And so I was like, I'll just sit and I'll sort through on this bench. I am not sitting on this bench for 2 minutes before this man walks over, older Japanese man, and says, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. I was also struck in that moment by like how not nervous I was. Now he's an older man, like what was he gonna do? But in New York, I would have been losing my shit just because I'm so afraid there all the time, I feel. And just not here, because everywhere feels so safe here. So he sits down, and I will do a truncated telling of this story because I am gonna post it on TikTok. And we chat for a bit, and he's lovely. His English is not perfect. It's not even great, but like it's good. And I tell him as much because I'm like, he should be proud of how good his English is. And we have a full conversation, so he's clearly great. And I said to him, I was like, I don't speak a lick of Japanese, so like you've got me beat. And the first question he asks me, he asked, like, do you come to this park often? I was like, no, I've actually never been to Japan before. This is my first time. And he said, what do you think of Japan? And I said, well, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I've been to Tokyo now, and Osaka, Kyoto. I'm back here in Tokyo. It's beautiful. And there's this sense of community amongst the people that is like so palpable. And I didn't use the word palpable, but it's so present. It's very clean. And then he was asking me where I was from, and I told him the US, and he said, oh, the US is such a great country. And that hit me really hard because I was like, oof, is it? He eventually asked me, why do I think it's so great? What do I think makes it great? And I said, well, what do you mean? Like culturally, politically, economically? Like, what do you mean great? And what he then gets at is that he feels that the Japanese people are not a confident people. They don't really desire to leave or go outside beyond themselves. And he said that the US people travel, they seek to explore and to go new places, and they're so confident. So what makes them so confident? And that we turn out Olympic athletes, and he had this outsider's perspective that it was just the most amazing place. And he said, why do you think Americans are so confident? And I said, to be honest with you, I think it's out of necessity. I think we've all lived lives like entrenched and steeped in fear of either being found out for who we really are, or this belief that we're not enough because we've seen the people around us who aren't enough not achieve, and you have to be this bold, loud version of yourself to get ahead in the US. So I think we're confident out of necessity. If you want to prosper, you need to learn how to be a loud version of yourself. And he understood. And I said, I don't think that's a thing here in Japan. I don't think it's that the Japanese lack confidence. I just think that there's the sense of safety growing up, and this sense of unity and community, and you don't need to performatively share this larger than life version of yourself because it's all good, right? There's less fear. And we chatted for a bit more, and he asked me, what do I think America wants for its future? I was like, sir, who are you? Where were you sent from? And I said, well, the US is very divided right now. I said, I know from the outside, it may seem one way, but living there, very divided. And I said, I think that our base goal should be to find some sense of oneness again and come together. I said, it's a country of a lot of angry, sad people right now. And I said, what do you think of Japan? Japan seems happy. Do you think Japan's happy? And he sat back and he said, I'm happy, but I am also sad. Japan is a country with a long history and there's a lot of things that are going on. But I guess, as they say, it'll fall to the next generation to do with it what they can. I was like, I guess. I think that's what every next generation is supposed to do, right? Make it better than it was. Take what they found and fix what they can. And he told me just how happy the conversation made him. He'd been practicing, he's been working on his English for multiple years, and he loves talking to foreigners because he also sees it something that not a lot of Japanese can do because they don't utilize English much, and he's very proud of himself for that, and that the conversation made him so happy. So I was beside myself. I was so happy. He was so kind, and just like that, he thanked me, and we exchanged a few more pleasantries, and he got up and he left. And I took this video of him walking away, and my very first thought was oh my gosh, I wish I had asked him if it would be okay to film our exchange. But then I was like, it's nice that I didn't, right? Some things should just be in the moment and organic and spontaneous. And then I was like, I thought something was gonna happen, and I sat down here and so what am I to pull from that, right? If that happened for a reason. And I think the point is, you can travel across the world and there's still people dealing with shit. We've all got it. We've all got stuff. And today I sat on a bench with a 72-year-old. Oh, he did also share with me that he'd come to this park when he was a kid and he hadn't been in 10 years. And this was his first day back. And I was just like, oh my God, the bigness and the smallness of it all. I talk about that a lot because it's in these moments you're like, am I in a fucking TV show? And also holy shit, I'm in this gorgeous garden in Japan. What is happening? So it just put some things in perspective, and I just sat there and I thought about life a little bit, and that was it. It got a little chilly. Park closes at 6. I probably got up at 5:15, and I left. And I went straight for Uniqlo because I ran out of socks, which I did a remarkable job packing. That's not even me saying I killed it. I just been I had no idea it would work out quite as well as it did. I just brought too few socks, which seems like a grave miscalculation. So I went to Uniqlo to buy socks and left with a bag full of clothes because I have a problem. But everything was so cheap because Uniqlo is a Japanese company, and there were so many sales, and it's tax-free if you show your passport. So I was in heaven. Went home, dropped my shit off, spent a little more time here, got a little more work done, and I wanted to go for conveyor belt sushi. I did. It was extraordinary, of course. It was also one of those ones where I was so grateful to be by myself because there was a wait of an hour for groups, and then I just put in one, and I was called immediately to sit by the counter, and I was like, yes, solo dates for the win. And it was there was partitions, an iPad, you don't even talk to anyone. There's a regular conveyor belt, and then there's a top tier conveyor belt where the things will come that you've ordered, and then it will go into your station, sort of. It'll into your station, and then your iPad will be please take the thing that's blah, blah, blah. And you reach up and take it down because anything that you order on the iPad comes on your, I don't know if they program the plates or they probably when they place the tuna roll in the thing, they say this is going to 47-1 and it then knows. Amazing. Japan's living in 2098. They're in the future. And like I said, I had office hours tonight, but before that I had time. And I was sort of near where I know the gay bars are. So I went to one. There was a cover, but it came with a drink ticket. So that's always a moot point. And they were showing RuPaul All-Stars 8 premiere. I missed most of it, but I saw the last 10 minutes of the first episode. And then we watched the second episode. And I just sat at a table by myself. I knew I wasn't gonna really talk to many or any people, really. I'm very shy in those situations, unless I'm very drunk, which I prefer not to be. So I'm very shy in those situations. Watched RuPaul, watched a little baby drag show, and then walked home. Called my parents because the time difference is so weird. Caught up with them very briefly. Incredible office hour session, and then did this. And again, I was oh, I really just want to wash my face and go to bed. But I was no, you're going to be so grateful that you did this, because this will be your way of remembering some of the shit that happened, which you won't remember unless you took photos or videos or whatever. First full day in Shinjuku. Tomorrow, or technically today, the 13th, I don't have a ton of plans. I have a little bit of work to do. I would like to walk around more and explore if it's not pouring, but I also love the rain. I'm also totally fine finding a place to hole up for a couple hours, with a warm hot drink and just my little computer. And then tomorrow I have They call it a minimizing face massage, which is like not why I signed up for it, but I assume it's one of those like, you know, Face Gym or any of those that are like trying to like sculpt your face with massage. I just know they're like gonna go to town on like my cheeks and my jaw, which I like cannot wait for. I hold so much tension right here. And I think it comes with like a facial of some kind. I'm not quite sure. That's tomorrow. And then I'm actually meeting up with a woman that I met in Kyoto. We like were in the lobby of a restaurant and she made some joke or whatever. And I like immediately liked her energy and I was like, where are you from? She was like, Chicago. I was like, I went to school in Chicago. She was like, where? I said, Northwestern. She said, so did I. And we hit it off. And I was leaving the restaurant with the two boys that I met in Kyoto. It was Stefan and Alexi. And I said to the boys, I was like, wait, I feel very called. I have to go back in and grab her Instagram if she doesn't think that's so weird. And I like went back in and like waited her to finish paying. And she like turned the corner. I was like, hi, if this is so weird, just completely ignore me. But can I grab your Instagram? She was like, that's so funny. Because as I was paying, I was like, should have gotten his Instagram. But y'all, like, I just felt compelled. I felt pinged. And so we're gonna get dinner tomorrow night and then go out, which is like, yeah, I feel like that's what these things are supposed to do. Like follow impulses, feel things out, meet people. And then the next day, the 14th, my last full day here, I think I'll do a meal with the boys. I have a 90-minute head spa massage thing, which I'm so excited about. And then I'll hopefully like go out for my last night. And then Monday, my flight's not till 6-something p.m., but I have to get to the airport at like probably 3 to make me feel comfy, which means I probably have to get on a train at like, I'll probably get on like a 12 train. I'd rather be so early to the airport because that's me. And then I head home. I begin my journey home, which is wild. This trip has been so amazing for so many reasons. I also am just like, how cool that I did this and I'm doing this. Like, this is a go me moment. I'm very proud of me. I'm also very proud of my team while I've been gone. They've been incredible and really taking ownership of things. And I just feel like the rest of 2023 has opportunities to be the year I like really needed it to be. I think the year started off hard. My breakup from last June like wrecked me. And Tina ending, and I'm still mad at myself that the breakup is affecting me, which is like so stupid, but there's even been moments here where I've been like in a beautiful place or doing, so I'm like, why am I thinking about this person? Like, why am I allowing him to take up this residence in my brain? But we're gonna do a therapy assessment when I get back. Not me and him, me and the behavioral team for my primary care physician, and hopefully we'll match me with a new therapist and we'll deal with some of this stuff, which I will keep you apprised of course. But in the meantime, 2 more full days here. I'm gonna be really sad leaving, but I think it just means that travel is in the cards, right? You gotta see the world if you can. It's just crazy to now think like, oh, there's so many other places I wanna see. I wonder when I'll get back here, because it has been such a special place. And I don't want to not come back. I have to think about that. That made me emotional. Well, I'm tired, clearly. So I'm gonna go do my nighttime things and head to bed. Thanks for watching, as always. Like, subscribe, follow, all the things, you know. Comment, share something with me, and I'm grateful you're here. Good night.